PodAskew podcast is a founding member of the Odd Pods Media Network. It's Fandom Friday. And this is Getting Vocal with PodAskew. I am CJ, and with me, as always, is my hetero late mate, Rico. What's up, man?
What's up, motherfuckers?
It's not letting me bring my picture back. I'm just a logo, apparently.
Works for me.
Yeah, I'm sure it does. I know how much you hate looking at my ugly mug. Give me a second here. I am. Hi, how's everybody doing? All right, so
There he is.
welcome to Fandom Friday with Getting Vocal with PodAskew. We got a lot of fun tonight. As you can see, our friend Mallet's with us for a little while, as long as she would like to hang out, and because she gave us a pretty interesting question, so we said, why don't you come pose it to us yourself instead of us doing it? So here we are. But before we get into all that, it would be remiss if we ignored the fact that today's date is September 11th. 19 years ago, a very tragic event occurred in our country's history. I remember exactly where I was and how stupid my day was, not just because of that, but yeah. So we thought it would be only right if we just took a moment of silence to honor those that lost their lives that day. So if you could all join us for a moment of silence, and then we'll get into all the fun we normally do. All right. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate that. That was, for those paying attention, 19 seconds. So I did 1 second for every year that's passed. So, again, thank you for allowing us to do that. And now we're just going to go on and have some fun and do some stupid shit like we usually do and PodAskew stuff. So Mallet and I were chatting the other day, as we're prone to do, and she posed a pretty interesting question that I think we're going to expand on slightly, but why don't you tell everybody what you asked me?
We were talking about the Avengers, and I asked what was your favorite Avenger?
You did. And so I'm going to answer that, and I think Rico will too, but we want to expand it to what's your favorite Marvel character altogether. So not just Avengers. But to the original question, my response immediately, if you recall, Mallet, was Tony. I was like, and it's not even Iron Man. Like, as much as I love the Iron Man suit, no, it's Tony. Because Tony is very much a character separate from Iron Man. And so therefore, for me, it's definitely Tony Stark. What about you, Rico?
Well, are we going movie Avengers or are we going just comic Avengers?
I got to say, the movie ones are pretty comic accurate, actually, to their...
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, there's some that they haven't listed. I mean, not yet.
Well, sure.
Like, but I mean, I think I would probably go at my... I do have a lot of love for Tony and Iron Man and all that. I have a lot of fondness for Thor, but ultimately I would have to go Spider-Man, even if he's a quote-unquote junior Avenger.
Yeah, I was going to talk. I think Mal was originally talking the original five, so Thor, Hulk, Tony, Black Widow, and Hawkeye, and Cap. So what's that, 6 maybe? Yeah.
Well, I mean, if it's that lineup, then I'm going to probably go Hulk. because I identified a lot with Hulk when I was growing up. I was substantially more rage-inducing to myself. I had a bit of a anger problem, even though I never was like lashing out at people in a physical way like Hulk would probably do, but I've definitely hit a wall or two in my life.
So bad.
And I also like the color green.
Yeah, we didn't talk about it on the stories we shared with Michael, but I actually put my hand through a window in my high school cafeteria out of rage. So
You told me that.
Did I tell you that? We didn't tell it on the episode, but yeah,
no,
it's happened.
I broke my pinky once hitting a wall. I was having an argument with my dad, and I hit a support beam, and I didn't know, and I broke my finger. And the downstairs tenant, who was like used to us yelling at each other, heard that, and then she sent me a text message like, "Did you just shoot your father?"
Not yet.
Because like it was such a big bang, she thought it was a gunshot.
That's kind of funny, actually. And anyone who's heard last week's episode with Ron might know why. Anyway, Mal, I loved your answer because I didn't see that coming when you said it to me. So I would love you to share your answer and why.
Hawk guy. Because he's funny, he's smart, he does everything he does without powers, and every time he's not there, the Avengers lose. And he's the only Marvel character to ever be inducted into the Justice League.
Oh,
I don't think I knew that.
I don't think I knew that either.
God damn it! I haven't even showed up on our own show.
I like the fact that I like Hawkeye also because he's deaf, and they actually gave him more range. I mean, they had to give him a disability, but like I like that it didn't deter him as a hero. It still made him, still just as powerful.
Although that wasn't very. I mean, to your point earlier about comics versus the movie lineup, Rico, that's one of the things they didn't portray well or at all in the movie.
At all.
For Hawkeye in the movies, they built more from the original 616 universe with splashes of the new 50 with like his family and everything, but him being deaf is more recent.
Okay.
Right.
See, I knew bringing her on, we were going to get showed up, dude. I knew that was going to happen.
But to be fair, we also don't want comics accurate in the costumes on every single thing, because like Hawkeye's costume
is dumb.
Is dumb as shit. It's just purple and black, and it's got big fucking ears, and like what the fuck, and what is this? Like with the name Hawkeye, you would think they're gonna throw some bird in there. No, not at all.
And here's the thing. I mean, to that point though, Rico, and I don't want to go off on a tangent already, but apparently at one point in the new WandaVision show, when it happens, you're gonna see Scarlet Witch in her traditional comics accurate costume. So I'll be curious to see. Hey Jay, Ariel. All right, everyone's here tonight. I love it. For those just joining us, the question we posed, the one we're answering currently, is who is your favorite Marvel Avenger? So that's where we're starting here.
But we're going the movie roster, the original lineup is how we're clear.
Well, I mean, and I believe that's the original lineup in the books too, like the original starting lineup. No,
the original was Iron Man, Hulk, Thor, and Ant-Man, and the Wasp. They added Cap a few issues late. Hawkeye came in probably about 20 to 30 issues late because he started it as a villain, and then Silver and Scarlet Witch.
Now, if I'm correct, though, the Ant-Man you're referring to is Hank Pym, not
Scott.
Hank Jan.
Yeah.
Other interesting thing. Clint Barton once was Goliath at one point in the comics.
I didn't know that. Shit.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. We like getting knowledge. We don't mean it like, oh, well, fuck off. No, we like getting the data. It's fine. But, I mean, Rico and I, admittedly, as much as we do pay attention to the comic books, and we do, we certainly know more about the movies than we do the books. So.
I mean, I was definitely more versed on the comics when I was younger. It has been way more longer than I admit reading a comic book. It's been way too fucking long.
I want to, because we're getting some really interesting discussion already in the chat, so I think I want to open up the square and let people jump in here and start talking. But let me, so we'll do that. All right. So windows open there for anyone who wants to pop in here. And yes, there are some very wonderful. Hey, Ariel's already. Look at her on the quick draw. There are some great women in the MCU and the Marvel universe for that matter. And Mal and I had a great conversation about Scarlet Witch that same night that you posed the original question. So, she's one. You've got her. You've got, if you're expanding, you've got. Jean Grey, you've got Storm. Trying to think of other ones at the top of my head, but I'm blanking for some reason. But still, there are Rogue. Yep, Rogue's another great one. And if I'm right, Mal, and it seems like you're our book expert here, so I'm going to defer to you. But there are instances in which Mystique is not always a villain. So in those instances, you can even count her. So. I just need to pick up.
Mimics are weird. People die. People become back. Timelines rewritten. Different people or different characters. We're starting to see some of that with Anthony Mackie taking over as Cap, which is comic accurate. All the talk now about Shuri taking over the Black Panther.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I mean, as far as I know, in the books, the Iron Man, I guess it's technically Iron Woman, but the Iron Man suit is...
It's Iron Heart.
Is that what they're calling it? Okay, I didn't catch that.
Yeah, with Riri Williams, it's Iron Heart. Yeah.
Right, okay, well, there you go. So, I mean, there are, definitely women, and then Thor's a female now, which...
Lady Thor.
Lady Thor, yeah. So,
I was Lady Thor for Halloween 2 years ago.
I believe it.
I won a costume contest, actually.
I believe that too.
Yeah.
Fantastic. I was actually at Comic-Con in Philly 5 or 6 years ago, and I saw right around the time they announced Lady Thor, and there was a girl or a woman dressed up as Thor, and some, I mean, of course, you got those douchebags that were giving her crap about why you dressed as Thor, you're a woman, and to her credit, she was like, have you read recently what's going on? Because Thor's a woman now. So I was pretty...
Well, that same year, my daughter went as Iron Man, and I made her entire costume.
Aww.
Wow.
Including like an LCD light, like that you'd use for like underlighting in your kitchen or something, like right here on her chest, so she could like push the button and it would shine.
Well, we're not all as creative as you, Ariel. What can I say? Rico, you look like you were going to say something though a minute ago.
Well, Todd is saying in the chat, he says they're just calling Lady Thor just Thor. It's not Lady Thor.
Okay.
I thought he also said I didn't call her Lady Thor. I don't know. I always called her Lady Thor. Which
I know that's what
I
think that's what they're calling her in the film for the next Thor film, I believe.
Well, it's going to be called Thor: Love and Thunder.
That's the name of the film, right? But I think when I saw a character description, it said Lady Thor. Now that doesn't mean that that's what we're going to stick with, but that's what they wrote on the description I read. So,
okay.
Wow, we hit 10 early tonight. Shit, that was quick. So, but So Mal, if we were expanding off the Avengers into a larger Marvel universe, who would you be picking now?
Well, still Hawk guy, but if I wasn't picking Hawk guy,
Rico, did you just tip your own show?
Yep.
Okay, go ahead.
Tax purposes.
I always liked the thing. Fantastic Four.
Hey,
It's
Jolene.
clobbering time.
Yeah. You know what? I'm one of the rare people that actually liked that last Fantastic Four film.
Van Stick.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fan four stick. Yeah. Because it's fan four stick. Yeah. It's
okay.
fucking
I have to look at the logo again. But yeah, I didn't mind. I mean, there were definitely some problems with it. I'm not going to say that it's like a perfect film or anything close to that, but there were certainly. It wasn't a complete piece of shit. I've seen worse.
Nah. I mean,
I love all the myth.
it's
From
really bad.
From a film making perspective, if it was made poorly, and just from a story perspective, why?
Yeah. Okay. Never mind.
It's really a fascinating film if you look at it in like a film like class point of view of kind of like I want to see if I could decide where the studio interfered or what the filmmaker's intention was, because you could see like there's scenes where Miles Teller has like facial hair, and then in the same scene, clearly they didn't like they had him shave. It was from a different time, and he just doesn't have any fucking facial hair. Just like, what fucking poor grad student like made this fucking movie?
Or
like,
Kate Mara's wig.
Yes, yeah, her awful ass wig. I mean, I love the guy who played Doom. I thought he's got a great voice, and I thought the guy who played Sue and Johnny's dad, like he's that black guy with that fucking deep gravelly voice. He just died like a year ago or something, and I love his fucking voice. He always stuck out to me because he was one of the main henchmen in The Mask with Jim Carrey. Like he was like the guy who got shot. He's like, someone hit the joint before we got out, and then like
that
Dorian goes, Dorian
shit.
gives him a smoke, and then he just fucking like that's the dude who plays Johnny and Sue's dad.
No shit. I don't think I knew that. How about? Oh, Jolene, you're fine. Thank you for hanging out anyway. Please. Thank you seriously for coming and just hanging out with us. Ariel, what about you? What do you didn't get to pick either, so give us your favorite just Avenger and then Marvel expanded.
Okay, favorite Avenger. It's a hot take and people are going to argue with me. Okay?
Isn't that what this show is?
My favorite Avenger is Tony Stark.
I said that.
Did you? Okay,
Yeah.
I wasn't here for it then.
Yeah, I said
Must have been right at the beginning.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, no.
No.
Huh?
How's that a hot take?
Because people get mad at me.
Yeah, why?
They're just like,
answer?
They're just like, oh, he's a dick, though.
Yeah, but so are all the other Avengers. That's what it was a requirement.
Well, I mean, look, if we're looking at the movies, right? My favorite Avenger in other ways is Thor.
Yeah, slip and slide. We already know. Thank you.
Steph's over here doing this shit.
Thor is delicious.
You aren't wrong.
Exactly.
He's not my favorite of the Chris.
Yeah.
If we're talking about who if we're talking about who the most like what delicious Avenger is, I'm gonna go with Black Widow just because there's not many fucking women.
Nope. Scarlet Witch.
I mean, there's Scarlet Witch, but like
Scarlet Witch. All
Look.
day.
I mean,
I'm not even gonna do my look, listen thing. Look, the Olsen twins sister
Yep.
is hot.
Yep.
she is. But
So,
but Scarlett Johansson's got the voice to match with the body, as far as I'm concerned.
No, that accent, no matter how
Oh,
it is.
excuse me for like picking somebody that's just as hot in a different fucking way. Like
What? You're as Mark says, it's okay to be wrong sometimes.
yeah, but he's usually talking to you when he says that. Look,
that's true.
I'm just gonna say it. Black Widow's got a better butt.
okay, she does have that.
And I'm an ass man, so
Well,
you
there
can
you
enjoy
go.
your Scarlet. You can enjoy your Scarlet tits. Your Scarlet tits. I'll enjoy my ass widow. This is getting really bad and judgmental even for me.
I love Jolene's response. ScarJo is on Scott's list of people he's allowed to have sex with if given the chance.
There you go.
Yeah. Go ahead, Mal. No, you put your finger up. You got something to say. Now you got to say it.
Chris Evans. That scene in Civil War with the helicopter.
I'm not gonna lie, I got
Here
moist
for
when I
it.
saw that trailer. That was.
But you know what really
I mean,
got me about Chris Evans? That sweat he wore Knives Out.
I've only seen that once, honestly, so I'd have to see
He's
it.
wearing a sweater in the last scene.
What? You're so neat.
Puppy.
Okay, Pod, no, that word is not allowed. That's disgusting.
But I said it.
He said, Rico said it. Yeah.
Okay, I was
I said-
tuning Rico out as I usually do. I'm just looking at the chat and bleh.
Ariel, I could say a boot and hold up a shoe. I mean,
Nope.
Okay.
Motherfucker, it's a boat.
Figured out.
Figured it. No, it's it's a Canadian thing with one of her Ariel's people.
My point stands.
All right, so expanding though, Ariel, if you're coming outside of the Avengers world, who?
Wait, one more time.
I said outside of Avengers, who are you picking? Because you didn't give us that one yet. You gave us
favorite, not the one you'd want to fuck.
Yeah.
You want me to pick like my favorite overall superhero
from the Marvel universe? So Batman.
Oh, from Marvel
right now.
From Marvel. Okay. Well, okay. I'm gonna go with Captain Marvel.
Okay, that's a good pick.
She's fucking rad.
You're going, Carol.
Yeah. I didn't get the haircut from the beginning of Endgame to the end. Like that didn't make any sense to me.
Comic accurate.
It is.
But like when she put in Captain Marvel, when she put the helmet mask combo on, she ended up with the mohawk type hairdo anyway. So I mean, like.
It's comic accurate on both fronts. They just said, "Fuck it, we can't choose. Let's do them both."
As someone with short hair, it's so much easier to deal with.
Dude, yes.
Oh, you're telling me.
I have the same. There's not much under this hat, but the point.
I went Britney 2007 a few years back, like full on buzzed it all off. So I'm with you 100%, Mel.
Brittany and I have the same hairstylist as of now.
So do I. Do I need to hear? Look, hold on.
Yeah, you need to prove that you have. There you go. Yours looks like you got a haircut. Mine looks like I'm going through a fucking midlife crisis.
That's because I re-shave my head every Saturday. You know, every Saturday I pull out my clipper. I just got a nice pair of clippers actually, but that's a whole different conversation. Um.
I need to get a haircut.
Okay. Yeah, they open in North Carolina, or are they open in?
They are, but since I'm on FMLA because of this, I kind of didn't need to make sure I have money for rent.
Red helps.
And
Yeah.
food. Like my parents will help if I need, but dad has COVID, so I want to make sure they're okay.
Oh no shit.
He's literally he's fine, except that he's tested positive for COVID. The whole time he's been making dumb jokes about eating nothing but Keebler fudge cookies and giving my mom lice all for birth today because it's her birth today month.
Ah,
Okay.
So I think he's fine.
sounds fair. Let's see. So, Mal, did we get your expanded universe? I'm sorry, I'm losing track of the world here. The thing. That's right. Yeah, Rika, what about you, buddy?
Oh, I said it. I'm very well. I mean, as a kid and even in my teens, I identify with Spider-Man because he was a kid. You know, he was a teenager. And I could relate to that. I couldn't relate to living in New York City, but I could relate to wanting to help the little man, and he was a little man essentially. He wasn't like, so I identified as the Hulk because of my anger problems, but I wanted to be a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man at the same time. And I also appreciate Wolverine. I always gravitated towards the heroes with dark backstories and like anger issues because I was that for a very long time. And
what do you mean was?
Well, I mean, I've calmed the fuck down.
Oh, geez, this is calm down.
The thing about Wolverine, I love the comics, but in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, I don't think he's been done justice.
Well, you mean the
Fox, Hugh Jackman.
Fox movies?
We've talked about that.
Marvel.
Yeah.
That's not the Marvel Cinematic Universe. That's Fox's X-Men series.
Yeah, no, I get it, but like, I just don't think that character's been done justice yet on screen.
Well, because he hasn't been played by a fucking 5'3", hairy Canadian.
Well, and we haven't seen him go into full berserker mode or
Logan was pretty fucking close.
Yeah.
Logan was pretty berserker.
Okay, I'll give you that.
It's been a while since I watched that. I need to watch that again.
The only other time that came close was X2 during the mansion raid sequence.
Sure.
But it wasn't bloody like Wolverine is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes, and that's the thing, is that to do it justice, you need a rated R movie.
Mm-hmm.
Logan.
Yeah.
I'm just
basically
saying.
what you want Deadpool, but with Wolverine.
Yeah. Speaking of, you wanted to know the best part about the Fox Marvel merger?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Deadpool is a Disney princess now.
Yeah. Yeah. I could think technically he would be. Yeah.
Well, so is Alien. So is the alien from Alien. The xenomorph is now technically a Disney princess. At least the queen is.
Isn't Ripley technically one too?
Okay, this is weird. This is super weird. We were just talking about Ripley in the chat.
Really? I missed that. I'm trying to keep
when I shaved my head off, Kateri was like, I bet you could pull it off, and I was like, yeah, people told me I looked like Ripley.
Fair enough.
You also told us the other day, like, you were trying to say, like, everyone said I look like Riley. We're like, who the fuck is Riley? Like, Riley from, and we're like, you mean Ripley? And you're like, oh, yeah, Ripley. I don't.
Yeah, but that's the one. Yeah, I couldn't remember. It's been I've slept since I watched that movie.
Okay. Just say Sigourney.
Right. He's being irritating, and for whatever reason, he always needs to go out when I'm on stream. So I'm gonna get off and take him out. I'll be back, but let someone else in. Bye.
Thanks,
Bye
man.
now.
All right. Well, there you go.
Ariel lost her nerd card.
No.
No, she didn't. No.
No, her nerd card's pretty solid. So
yeah, because of her, Steph ordered a fucking graphic novel of Sandman.
Yeah,
No,
she did.
Okay.
Yeah.
She didn't know who.
So excited.
what's that, Todd? We didn't hear you.
Said that she didn't know Ripley's name. So I mean, how much nerd cred does she have?
Oh, if you listen to PodAskew and how many times Rico and I have fucking blanked on names, on people we know. So I mean that happens. I'm not gonna steal her nerd card on that one. If she said Ripley was in like Friday the 13th, then maybe. But if she just blanked on a name, I'm not gonna hold her to that.
Yeah, if she was trying to convince us that Arnold Schwarzenegger was an alien, we'd be like, no, that's Predator. She's like, no, it's fucking no.
Yeah, something like that would be nerd card revoking worthy, but yeah.
But I mean, she said Riley to Ripley. I mean, it's fucking close. So.
Yeah.
One letter off. One letter.
Yeah. So
Jesus, Todd, calm down.
Come on, Todd.
Going. If you drop one D in your fucking name, it would mean death in German. What's that mean?
What?
Did I lose my Deutsch card?
Todd with Wendy is also the name what they call the fox in the fox hunt.
You mean the Fox and the Hound?
In general. That's why his name is Todd in the movies, because they call the fox in a fox hunt a Todd.
That's fucked up.
Yeah, a little bit.
That's my name.
So basically, that old lady in Fox and the Hound was just like, I'm going to name you Target. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
As if that movie wasn't depressing enough as it is. Now it just like means, run, little Target, run.
As far as the question goes, I think of the MCU, my favorite Avenger would have to be the Hulk.
Okay.
And
what about the expanded
simply
Marvel universe? Doesn't have to be movies, just Marvel universe, period.
In general, I think my favorite would probably be Wolverine or maybe Spider-Man.
Okay. See,
actually, if I had to pick, let me take that back. It'd be Dark Claw, the Marvel DC crossover mashup.
I know who.
Yeah.
That's a good poll. I'm not gonna lie.
That's a deep cut. Yeah, deep cut.
Yeah.
For me, expanded universe. See, my first comic book was a Marvel book, and it was a book called Darkhawk, but it's a limited run. I think they only ran 50 of them. I have the whole run, but it's been a while since I pulled out my collection. I think it's 50 deep. So I can't really use him. So I would, but I'm so torn between the ones I do like, because it's either, Nightcrawler was always one of my favorites, but so is Ghost Rider. I've always been a fan of Ghost Rider. I like
Ghost Rider. He's another one that hasn't been done well, I don't think. I watched Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and I saw that whole arc.
You didn't like that run? I thought that was perfect.
Really?
I loved it.
Yeah. To Alex's point, I don't know if she's listening because I know she's taking the dog out, but the new 52, because I don't think you were here when she brought up the new 52 versus the original lineups, Ariel. The new 52, it's almost perfectly accurate. It really is, with going with the Hispanic character and using the Charger instead of the motorcycle, which I know is a departure, but it worked. To me, it worked. I liked it. Rico and I've had this debate about the Ghost Rider movie. I think it's always been private, though. I don't think we've talked about it on the show. But I don't.
The two movies.
No, but I'm talking about the first one, because I don't hate the first one. The second one's terrible, but I don't hate the first one.
The first one is fine in the sense that it's another random offshoot Marvel movie, like Daredevil, Elektra, and the two Fantastic Four movies. It's okay, but for sure I would have cast Nicolas Cage.
It was Marvel's first attempt at a MCU, really, without actually calling it an MCU. Because look, let's think about it. If you take those movies, Elektra, Daredevil, the two Ghost Riders and the Fantastic Four movies, right? They are as loosely connected as the current DCEU. You know what I'm saying? Like they're or as disjointed at least, I think.
Well, disjointed, but at least like there was a Justice League and a Batman v Superman. I mean, they did try.
Right. But what other
The only connection was that there was a deleted scene of Daredevil being in Elektra. That
and Elektra being
and the character. Yes, okay, there's that. No. But it really Elektra is a spin-off of Daredevil, whereas Fantastic Four is not a spin-off of Daredevil.
Fair.
It's
Fair.
And Spider-Man is not in any of them, so it really is kind of muddled,
well, I wasn't even including those Spider-Man movies. I was just talking about the other ones. But yeah.
But I'm talking about all the just random Marvel films in the early to like late 2000s, pre-Iron Man and Incredible Hulk.
Yes.
That was all we got. We're just like, oh, they're making Ghost Rider? That's interesting. Who's going to play him? Nicolas Cage. Oh, fuck. Are you
what's that?
I might be the only person that actually liked both of those movies.
Yeah.
The Ghost Rider movies with Nicolas Cage.
My problem with the second one, Todd, is that they kind of retconned the first one. Because in the second one, like by the end of the first one, he'd kind of come to terms with himself being Ghost Rider. He was like, I'm gonna keep this power and I'm gonna keep you from being able to abuse it. That was basically almost the last line in the entire movie. And by the second one, he's like, I want rid of this fucking thing. I don't want anything to do with it. Like, it's just retcon that whole thing. It's
a bit of a reboot.
Yeah.
It's a reboot with the same fucking actor.
Right.
Honestly, I would have gone Norman Reedus, personally.
Would have been a good choice. Yeah.
Yeah, he should definitely
slide.
Oh, God. Here we go again.
Oh my God.
Is it easier to list off the non-slip and slide people or what? I mean,
no, I'm picky. Norman Reedus is right up there.
So we just seem to hit all the targets. Is that what you're telling me?
You wish he was right up there.
I mean, look. Listen.
I don't want to listen. It'll just
yeah. By By the way, Ariel rocking the PodAskew t-shirt. I see that. Thank you so much.
Yay!
And thank you for all the social media blasts. Actually, I've been meaning to share this.
I'm too young for this. Is what Jolene said.
Jolene, you poor little thing.
You missed last week's episode.
You know, another Marvel character that I like outside of the Avengers.
What's that?
Punisher.
Oh, Punisher! How did I fucking forget Punisher? Yeah, man, for sure.
But like, I give him the credit that he's not like the hero. He's a straight up vigilante. If anything, he's an anti-hero. At the most, he's an anti-hero, but technically, he'd probably be closer to an anti-villain.
True.
Because he started out as a villain.
No.
So,
well, yeah. Sorry,
he started out as a target. He was taking down Spider-Man. It was like he was first going after Spider-Man. I think. Just like Wolverine was. I think like Wolverine was like an antagonist for the Hulk originally.
That I don't know.
A lot of the heroes that are introduced are usually like an adversary.
I bet you Malik could back us up on that one because she sounds like she would know that shit. I honestly can't speak.
Well, Todd,
I didn't mean for you to leave, Todd, but all right. And he's back.
What?
I said I thought she wanted in, so I was going to jump down so she can pop
no,
in.
I think she's still walking the dog, actually.
Yeah.
But
Punisher's got one of those ones that's like got 3 movies, 4 actors because of a show, and as far as I'm concerned, only 2 of them actually nailed it.
Obviously, the show, right? Rico?
Well, the show, John Bernthal, yeah.
Yeah.
But also Tom James.
Yes.
With the movie.
Yeah. You know what? I didn't even really hate Travolta as the
against him.
antagonist. Like that wasn't terrible. What did Seth say?
When Rika told me that X-Men are in the same universe as the Avengers, I lost my shit in the negative way. It's true. We've had more than one argument about this. There's no way that all these world-altering shitstorm events that happen in all these Marvel movies would have at least one X-Men character show up. They cannot blend all the X-Men characters into the Avengers. Too many special people, in my opinion, if you catch my drift. I mean, here's the thing. Stan Lee wrote all these fucking characters, so it's a thing. Technically, Hugh Jackman's Wolverine will never go up against fucking Jeremy Renner's Hawkeye. It's just not going to happen. But technically, New York should be the safest fucking place on earth. I agree with you on that one. There should never be a mugging or a rape or anything in New York. Because if not Spider-Man, you got the Fantastic Four, you've got the
Daredevil.
You got all the Avengers. You got Daredevil who can hear shit.
Dude, fuck.
Dude, Jessica. If you just hire Jessica Jones, be like, you handle all the sexual assault in New York, she could just do it by herself.
Yeah, for real.
And then you can be like, all right, Avengers, when aliens come, you take care of those fuckers.
Jessica Jones is my dark spirit animal.
Your dark spirit animal?
Isn't that just
the opposite
your spirit
of Kristen
animal?
Bell?
Oh,
no.
Okay.
Kristen Bell's my spirit animal.
So like
Jessica Jones is my dark spirit animal.
It would be the ultimate yin yang for you if like Kristen Bell hooked up with Jessica Jones, right? That'd be like the ultimate yin yang opportunity going on there.
You just want to be known as Kristen. Because it's Kristen Ritter and Kristen Bell.
Yeah, true.
I am all of a sudden very hot.
In love with Glenn. There, Ariel. That's funny.
She's watching.
Oh man, that's funny. Hey Mark, thanks for jumping in, buddy. Mal's out walking Teddy, but
yeah, Jolie, we briefly got Iron Man in Malibu. Fucking fucked back off to New York. Now California's fucked. That's why we have fires outside. There's no Avengers to help us.
Right.
Rico, your connection's going to shit for some reason, buddy.
Okay.
Well, you're all pixelated and you look like Iron Man the way you're moving.
Yeah, you look like a 8-bit Iron Man.
Yeah, a little bit. So
it's not affecting me on my end.
And Rico's gone. And Rico's back.
Is that better?
Guess who's
there we go. Welcome back, buddy.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for Mal to at least come back into the room because she did ask a secondary question that I wanna pose, but I wanna, even if she's not in the screens here, at least I want her to be able to hear the conversation. So I'll wait till she comes back. But
well, she in the chat. I think.
Yeah,
I mean,
she was still out with the pup.
Well, I see the name down there. I mean, she hasn't said anything as far as I
right,
know.
because she's out walking the dog. Let's see. All right, so. Mark, by the way, I did drop a link to this in Neo Kobe Pizza if you can do whatever you do, but it's there. Let's see. So trying to think of what other character is there a second? Like, is there like a Darkhawk level character you're aware of, Rico, or no? Or are you kind of only knowing the top layer?
I don't remember a whole lot of the combos that they made. There was like a combo of Captain America and Superman. It was like.
Well, I didn't mean that, but I meant those are the DC Marvel crossovers, sure, yeah.
Well, there was
the amount.
Actually, I'm sorry, Rico, but that actually brings up a very valid point. Well, before we get into the other question, do you notice that it's harder, at least in my opinion, to pick a favorite Marvel person? Because if you ask someone to pick your favorite DC, it's usually one of three. Right? I mean, let's be real. There are people who are well-versed, like your Mallets and your Marks, and people who would go, further out. But most people are going to go one of three. They're going to go Batman, they're going to go Superman, they're going to go Wonder Woman. And that's it. And that's what I think to find really interesting is that, Marvel's got such a... And yet, DC has a big roster. They just don't... It's not as well versed, or not versed, but not as well known, I guess, maybe. It just...
I could agree to I mean, I do like other Marvel characters that are sort of forgotten but are coming back on the rise, like Namor.
Yeah, Namor.
Namor is always been a favorite of mine, just because he's essentially almost in literature he was like the first, in comics especially, was the first anti-hero.
Wasn't there call for Keanu to play that role?
Well, I was saying he should play it because I know they may obviously have to tweak it now, but like he was supposed to be the antagonist for Black Panther 2.
Right.
And then everyone was
And I've heard they've announced what they're going to do with the character, but they're also shelving the movie indefinitely out of respect. So it's going to be a while before we get that. So
I think there's a big resurgence on the Flash going to DC. I think Flash and Supergirl has gotten a big new fan base. I think the actor playing Cyborg is getting a lot of fucking praise, not necessarily the character, because we really see his character do shit.
I do like. Did you see that Momoa stood up behind him and supported him this week? I thought that was really good. He
also apparently Momoa is in my area going and eating tacos. He's in the Bay Area.
Jason Momoa and get him on PodAskew, and then get Ariel her third slip and slide of the night. I mean, come on.
No.
Yes, please.
No. Do you seen outside? I'm not going to go look for fucking Aquaman when outside looks like hell on earth.
Way to take one for the team, Rico.
Yeah.
Look, if I saw him, I'd be slipping and sliding too. So I don't fucking need to be like embarrassing myself in front of a guy whose moniker could also be Seaman.
You went there.
I did go there.
You went there.
Because I don't have to give him a piggyback ride, then people will be like, "Oh my God, there's Seaman on Rico's back."
Jesus.
Nope, Seaman.
Mark, you're right. That's all I gotta say. You're right. Moving on. I don't even know where to go from there. Jesus Christ. Fuck.
That's what I'm here for.
Yeah, thank you.
Throw everybody off, and everybody's like, "Whew."
Bring this show to a screeching halt. Yeah, thank you.
Look, since we're on the topic
of
I'm
Momoa,
just gonna say, yes.
Okay.
Since we're on the topic, Jason Momoa is not a snack. He's the whole motherfucking meal. All right.
Well, if I recall, if I could bring this full circle to an older PodAskew episode, I believe Mark, since he's here, can confirm that he told us on a recording that Jason Momoa could get it. So
it was on the Oscars episode.
Yeah.
Where Momoa was dressed in a fucking salmon colored suit, and we're like, I'm just saying this, Jason Momoa can get it.
Yeah, and we were both like stunned. Not that we didn't like have an issue. We were just like, oh, didn't see that coming. So Mark, wait, Mark, are you in a position to not defend yourself, but to elaborate, or do you?
He's trying. He's trying.
He might still be. Well, I wanted to give
Rebecca's here.
I don't know. Have we met Rebecca before?
No, I don't think so. Yeah, okay. Rico did. Rico did last night.
Well, thank you for coming to join us, Rebecca.
You're the straightest man and not say no to Jason Momoa. I'm saying, girl. I'm saying, and we're not talking pitching. We're talking catching. With Momoa.
Whoa. Did you see Mark's comment? I'd be feeling in a Jason Momoa Roman Reigns sandwich. I don't think Rico knows who Roman Reigns is, but that's okay.
Who's Roman Reigns?
He's a wrestler that looks very similar to Momoa. He's not as jacked, but he's Maudry and long hair.
I thought that guy was Momoa at one point.
Yeah. So Hey, Fern, welcome.
Fern's here. Cool. Hey, guys, just for the record, we had like kind of a karaoke moment last night on Malice, and Fern sent me a video of her singing after the fact, and she sounds like an actual true life fucking angel singing. It's incredible.
Nice.
So, there you go. Yeah,
All right.
that's fantastic.
It is true. We did do a karaoke. Sorry, Todd.
I said, I, however, sound like a siren. Not like the mythical like creature, but like the ones on cop cars.
The ones in fucking Europe.
Real quick, I want to give Jess some love. She just gave us a whole bunch of a shout out for Good Vokl on Twitter. So thank you, Jess. We love your support.
Thank you, Jess.
Does somebody
Awesome.
want to hop on? I can hop off if somebody wants to get on the chat here.
You sound
So
like
can I.
Tom Waits with a cold.
The ship is sinking.
Okay. Seriously, when I first started listening to Tom Waits, I listened to the oldest stuff and kind of progressed through. And when I first started listening, I was like, his voice can't get worse. And yet with every album, it got worse. It's like the man gargles glass.
Yeah, I was just thinking the same thing.
Fern, I'm sorry. I think maybe I don't know how I'm supposed to respond to that. So
He was asleep. I texted him, and I'm like, people have asked for you, and then he didn't get back to me until 7 o'clock his time, so
Yeah.
4 o'clock
Yeah.
my time. And he's like, I was asleep. I fell asleep, and I'm like, people were wanting you, dude.
I passed
Like-
the fuck out last night. I was exhausted. So
I actually gave the I was like, oh, I know what the fuck he's doing. He's playing Avengers, and then he passed the fuck out or something again.
no, I didn't even get that far. I got off. I got done work. I ate food and sat on my couch, and the next thing I knew was 7 o'clock this morning. So yeah,
Damn.
I was tired. Very tired. So, well, I missed all of you guys too, and I'm sorry I wasn't here for karaoke. I'm kind of glad I wasn't because I know Rika would have been like, "Motherfucker, sing," and then it would have gotten
If not just to embarrass you.
yeah. Well, no, only to embarrass me. Really, I mean, so Christ, but yeah, I'm losing control of the show this week. Really,
All right.
Well,
so.
does anybody else want to come on just for a minute to answer the initial question?
Yeah, who wants to
favorite-
come and tell us your favorite Avenger? Tell us your favorite Marvel hero. Anybody?
Absolutely not, but I'll watch.
Mark. Oh, you found a way to get your picture up. I like it.
Such a great likeness.
Change my speakers.
We can't hear you, buddy. There's like no volume.
Hello.
You're like Bane.
Yeah, it's really low.
Oh god damn it! Hold on a second.
Oh, that's a lovely, lovely voice.
Hello.
Much better.
That's
Why
Yeah.
do we keep going to DC?
Don't know.
because we like an underdog.
And we
They're owned
lack
by Warner
that.
Brothers. How are they an underdog?
I will tell you this right now, just since DC just came up. Okay. More than Chris Hemsworth, more than Jason Momoa,
Uh-oh.
the ultimate for me. Like
That
my
is
number
Devil.
one, here's a pass. I can do this, right? Gal Gadot.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
Yum.
Eh?
I mean,
I have issues with her
I'll-
pro-Israel stance.
You what?
I have issues with her pro-Israel stance.
She's
more in
Israeli.
Israel. Yeah.
That's nice. They fucking murder people in the streets and then make jokes about it on social media. Fuck her.
Yeah, no, I get it, but she doesn't.
I'm just saying. There
Yeah,
are a
I'm
lot
just
of people
saying-
who are Israeli who are like, but also Israel not so great.
Look, I'm not pro-Israel, okay? I think the whole mess over there is rough. That's all I'm going to say, but Gal Gadot is Israeli. So the fact that she's pro-Israel is kind of like a duh to me. Also, she's
I'll let
fucking
Todd
hot.
Next topic.
Yeah, can we go back to talking about how hot she is?
you are all gonna freak the fuck out when I tell you when I talked about some German actresses. Like Germany's got a history, man. I don't know if you guys know this, but they have some beautiful fucking women.
Yeah.
Beautiful fucking men too.
They sure do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gal Gadot is more beautiful than her fucking name. Because I don't know how to pronounce her fucking name half the time.
Gal Gadot.
Yeah. But she's very pronounced.
Gal Gadot.
Gal Gadot.
There you
She
go.
said it like that. I mean, you know, I think she's doing us a kindness. She's dropping all the phlegm that I'm sure is in the middle of it.
This is not Ahmed. This is not Ahmed from Jeff Dunham.
No, have you heard fucking Hebrew, dude? I'm sorry.
Yes, I was actually.
I have been to a number of Passovers, and
I was
holy
at
shit.
My name is Hebrew.
Yeah, it's also yeah. We
Are you
talked
saying
about
my
it.
name is ugly?
No, I'm saying your name would probably be pronounced Fahman.
Up this way. You're flipping Mark off.
Did I didn't say your name was ugly.
You're making
Still
fun
went
of
this shit
Hebrew.
real fast.
You're making
I'm
fun of Hebrew. My name is Hebrew. That is by default making fun of my name. And there's
So,
nothing
Mark.
ugly about my name. It's Ariel.
So,
I
Mark.
didn't say anything about Ariel. I
All right,
said Furman.
Children, I will fucking turn this podcast around. Now, all of you calm down.
See, I thought that like me bringing up Israel was going to be the low point of the podcast, but then you guys just fucking went right off that cliff.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Hebrew
No,
is not
no,
an
no,
amazing
stop it!
fucking language.
Right now.
No,
Oh,
fuck
boot
that.
you from your own fucking show.
See, this is why I said that he's your Nate.
Yes, you did. And you scared Ariel away. Great job.
No, I didn't.
Mark, I'm just curious. Is that really your picture with your mask on it, or is that just some random body?
No, it's the ugly guy from Suits.
Okay, never watched it, so I can't speak to that.
I mean, if you look like that, you're not wrong. I did not make fun of your fucking name, Ariel.
Yes, the man who looks like a fucking mole rat.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Matt Bomer?
I don't remember. Maybe Matt Bomer. I don't know.
No, it's not. No, Matt Bomer's from White Collar. He's no.
I make me fucking look up Suits to fucking figure out who the goddamn fuck is on the show Suits.
I don't really care. Oh, you done pissed off the chat room, Rick, and I can't defend you, buddy. I don't think you made fun of her name, but if she took it that way, then
Ariel, I apologize. I did not mean to make fun of your name. I was talking about Hebrew, and at no point did I meant Ariel was Hebrew.
Well, like, I get where she's coming from to the extent that, like, you obviously didn't mean it this way, but you did hurt her feelings because, you know, that is her heritage. And, like, even a joke, well-meaning, can hurt somebody's feelings or upset them in some capacity or another if they feel as though it's sort of, you know, like, what's the word I'm looking for here? Like, it's basically, like, I don't know what your nationality is. I'm guessing
Italian.
Okay, that is honestly what I would have guessed, but I didn't want to say it because like that, I feel like that would have been.
Oh no, he talks about it pretty regularly on PodAskew, so it's not. Yeah,
look, I talk about.
But I mean, like, if I started like making fun of Italian shit on here, like that would like you know it's okay for you to do it. If I start doing it, like that's a little ignorant, isn't it?
So,
like,
Mark, what's your favorite Marvel
I get where you're coming from, and I'm not saying that was the intention. It's just sometimes that happens, and we don't mean for it to.
Listen, I grew up with fucking a Jewish godfather, Jewish brothers, and a Jewish fucking sister.
Sure.
At no point was any of this offensive.
Sure. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's just different people. Right. Different people can be upset by different stuff, is all I'm saying.
So now that we're all friends again, I think. Mark, do you want to answer the overall question?
What is the overall question?
Your favorite?
My favorite.
No,
Well, one
no,
time I went boom boom in my pants.
No, is the fact that Jess jumped in. What's your favorite Marvel Avenger character?
Are we talking specifically from the movies, or can I like pick the comics too?
We were trying to stick to the 5 from the movie. They don't have to be based on those characters, but the 5 or 6 from the original films would be ideal to start.
God, it has to be one of the 5 or 6 from the first movie. Oh, Captain America, I guess.
Okay, you guess.
Like, if we're talking like all the Avengers, I could definitely pick like a lot of different options. But from that group, it's pretty much got to be Captain America. You know what I'm saying?
We are expanding also out to Marvel in general. So if you want to pick one of those Avengers for that one, you certainly can.
Spider-Man.
Okay. Yeah, well, I kind of figured that would be your pick because you and I've had enough private conversations that I know you're a huge Spider-Man fan. So.
I'm a Spider-Man stan. Yes, it's fine.
Yeah. Hey, Jess, how are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you guys?
Oh, just peachy. As you can
Fucking
tell.
dandy.
What
Found it.
Yeah. What do you have an answer to the question, the topic for the evening?
Favorite Avengers, but does it have to be from the first movie? Because I'm going to answer Thor, but I like him more when he's PTSD Thor.
Well, that's still Thor, so it counts. I'm not down with that. You're talking Fat Thor from Endgame, yeah? Or
I'm about.
What's that?
I'm about it. It's the first time I've found a Hemsworth to be attractive, actually.
So you like that dad bod thing? You're down for the dad bod. All right.
Hashtag daddy.
There you go.
It is, yeah. It's good to know that there was like a realistic superhero somewhere out there.
Realistic superhero.
Yeah, when people will be like, "Oh, well, who do you look like?" "Oh, I kind of look like, Thor," just not specifying which one.
Yeah. Oh, I kind of look like the Penguin.
Yeah, I went from the Penguin to Thor.
Also, can I just say, like, out of all the DC heroes, my favorite is like one that's like nobody else's favorite.
Okay.
Shazam.
Fair enough.
I got nothing against Shazam. It's just not my favorite. Like,
That's totally
I'm glad.
Like, I just wanted to sort of like contribute that because we were like sort of talking about like, oh well, DC has like Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman. For me, it's like, well, Shazam.
No, Mark, they have more. I know they have more. I guess my point, though, is that when you ask Marvel, right, not just Avengers, you just say Marvel, right? A lot of people are going to go Spider-Man just off default or Wolverine, but there's also a lot of people that will have to stop and think about it and could go one of 100 different directions. Sorry, Jess, we didn't know you got kicked. Whereas I feel like if you ask someone's favorite DC character, they tend to just go to one of those 3. It's not to say there aren't choices.
Well,
you know what I mean? But I feel like that's it's just an interesting thing for me that there's that difference between picking Marvel versus picking DC.
I would argue that prior to the films coming out, if you asked somebody their favorite Marvel superhero, it was like, Spider-Man or Wolverine.
Sure, I would agree.
I would even throw Silver Surfer in there. The Silver Surfer got a lot of attention.
That's fair. I'll give you that one. But it's the films have really expanded the visibility of the Marvel heroes to the point where like people give a shit about Iron Man now. People haven't given a shit about Iron Man in like 30 years.
Mallett's right. He was a B-list hero before the films. I mean, and I can't argue with that, Mal. You're right. You're 100% right. And honestly, the same kind of concept with the Guardians. The Guardians of the Galaxy. Nobody knew who the fuck the Guardians of the Galaxy were before that first film.
No, they didn't. Although I do think they've done a fabulous job with the films for Guardians.
Oh, the first one for sure. Second one's a little bit of a letdown for me. I'm curious to see what they're going to do with the third one, but yeah.
Fern, I'm okay. As long as everyone's cool, I'm fine. I just, it was just sort of a surprise because this is
Rico.
humor that I've done.
Rico, I was completely fucking with you.
Oh, I know that, but like everyone's asking if like apparently I've got resting sad face now, but like like
honey.
no, I'm just sitting here just listening and like
Listen, man,
when
when
I
you start
open my-
getting
when I-
older, you always have resting sad face.
True.
when I open my mouth, I get in trouble. When I close my mouth, people are concerned. I don't know what the fuck you guys fucking want. Like
I'm at
Hey
the point in
Rico,
my life
remember
where I
that
look like
dick pic
fucking
you
Basset
sent
Hound.
me?
yeah, it was a fucking selfie.
Just saying.
Resting dick face. Yeah.
But yeah, it's like for DC, like how many good movies have they had? Like the first two Supermans, maybe
Oh, you're going all DC movies.
all DC movies ever. The first two Supermans, 4 of the Batman films.
Which
and
4?
like Batman, Batman Returns, The Dark Knight, and Batman Begins.
I would
I'd have to
disagree with
agree.
one of those.
Yeah, he would
Batman
not want
Returns?
Batman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Batman Returns, I think, is like some people. It's a lot more polarizing of a film. It's for some people, it's like the best movie of Burton's Batman group. For
Really
other
had
people,
two.
it's very ridiculous. And
It's
there's
it's
no
the
real
best-
in between.
It's the best one that they all remember, and then they rewatch it 20 years later. They're like, "Wow, this was really not that good."
Like even Rico. So if you remember, Mark, because you at least follow the concepts of the show, even if you don't listen to every episode, and I don't mean that in a way, except that you're aware of what we do on the show. We did the non-Christmas movie debate, where one of the movies we debated was Batman Returns, whether or not that was a Christmas movie,
Right?
And that's the one that ultimately ended up winning the battle, unfortunately for me. But so we did a commentary on it, and even by the end of it, Rico was like, "Yeah, not as good as I remember it." So
I mean, it still is good. I'm attracted to the darkness of it, and I think Michelle Pfeiffer as Catwoman is brilliant casting, and I think Danny DeVito as Penguin was just gross, but in a like, all right, I get
In the best way
like,
possible, right?
in the best way possible. But like, there were parts of it I'm like, wow, he's such a fucking perv. I like to fill her void. Holy shit.
yeah,
Like-
he had some problems with that. I got to be honest, and Rico, you and I had this discussion when we did the commentary, but I like Dan Hathaway's Catwoman way better. Dark Knight Rises is a dog shit of a film, but her portrayal of Catwoman was pretty good.
But yeah, like I mean, that's sort of my point. Like outside of the Superman and the Batman films, what do you got? Wonder Woman and Shazam.
Aquaman's not bad.
Okay.
Aquaman's not bad.
Yeah, but nobody likes Aquaman as a character. Even if Jason Momoa is the best Aquaman on Earth, you are never going to convince people Aquaman is a good character. He looks like the fucking Tropicana poster boy, like he fucking fucked an orange in the ocean. It's like the character is the worst. Arthur Curry can fuck right off forever. They can cut his hand off. They can grow his beard out. They can fucking have him be shirtless in the ocean with a fucking hook for a hand. People still think Aquaman's fucking corny as hell. Jason Momoa's Aquaman is the only good Aquaman.
Agreed. Agreed.
Watch what you say about Aquaman. You have no clue how these people are going to take it.
No, I think that's only if you said it.
If I said,
If you had said it, then maybe. But Mark saying it's fine.
I actually have to throw out in the sense that I actually did not mind Green Lantern as much as everybody else did with Ryan Reynolds. There was a lot I did not like.
Yeah.
But it was not as big of a piece of shit as everyone's claiming it is. It's just there were a lot of scenes that were unnecessary.
The CGI was terrible in it, but the film itself.
Well, no, the CGI suit was bad, Mark. The CGI of him using his powers wasn't terrible.
Have I mentioned I love Ryan Reynolds?
Yes.
Well, we can add him to the slip and slide list, and we'll be fine. You know.
No, that movie though, I didn't hate it either, and I thought the moment where what's her name, Blake Lively, actress that plays, okay, when she when she was like, how? Like,
Yeah.
and he was really stunned. And then it was just like the best moment for me because I always wondered like how these superheroes, like you put on a mask and like no one knows who you are. Clark Kent, really? You put on some glasses and
That's
fucking
the
nobody knows
obvious
that you're
one.
Superman?
Yeah, but I still have to agree. If there was if my friend Michael, who's 6'6", and I've known him forever, if he was Batman, and then I saw Batman, I'd be like, that's fucking Michael. And he'd be like, how do you know my name? Like,
Well,
because
I think with the cow, it's a little bit harder than saying, yeah.
No. If I put on a fucking Batman outfit, every single one of you be like, that's clearly fucking Rico. He made fun of me.
Well, could
Like,
you be wearing hockey pads?
no, I would probably open my mouth and then you'd be like, oh, he said something offensive as shit. Batman would never.
He made fun of the Hebrews.
I didn't call them the Hebrews. That's
no,
on you, buddy.
Anyway, yeah,
Speaking of stirring shit up, Rebecca says
I saw
the worst Marvel character, Brie Larson, is Captain Marvel. All right,
I just
can you explain that?
Yeah, explain, please.
Hey Rebecca, do you want to hop on?
Yeah, please, if you want to.
I'll get off here if you want to hop on.
Not a chance.
Not a chance.
We're not gonna give you a bunch of shit. We seriously would love to hear your take if you have one.
Rebecca, you're gorgeous. Can you just hop on for a second?
You could cover your cam if you just want to speak.
Yeah, look at Mark.
Well, don't look too far.
Stop it.
Yes, I am the goatsy of this podcast.
The what?
You know what? I'm gonna let you look that up.
I just didn't hear what you said.
The goatsy.
Oh, okay. I didn't hear you, honestly. There's a debate in the chat about Rebecca coming on. Well, until she decides. Now you're welcome to grab a spot. You grab your spot back too if you want it, if you're up to it.
But if we're talking the worst character in the Marvel Cinematic Universe,
cinematic or overall Marvel movies, period. Because
the problem with overall Marvel movies, period, is that we have to reconcile the Roger Corman films with
which one of those?
The Fantastic Four and the Captain America movie that came out in the 80s.
Oh, don't bother with those.
Yeah,
right. But I mean, like that's sort of where if you go with everything, like it's a race to the bottom. You know.
Yeah.
So if you keep it to the MCU, I'm kind of inclined to agree with Captain Marvel, honestly.
No, the film could have been substantially better. I don't think Brie Larson was the problem. I think they rushed it.
I absolutely don't think Brie Larson was the problem, but I think Captain Marvel as a character doesn't do anything for me yet.
Well, because they rushed it. They rushed it. So this is what they did. And Rico and I have talked about this on the show. They rushed Captain Marvel and they shoehorned her in so that they could make her come in and be the savior of Endgame. Do you know what I mean? Like that was the problem. They squeezed her in to make her give her that moment that she gets in Endgame, and that was the problem. If they had. And Jess is right. They didn't use her power right either. Like if they had, I don't know if they had to do the long game they did with Iron Man, but if they'd done like a longer game with it, set her movie out in like 2000, let's see, 17 even, 15, 17, somewhere in that window. And then gave us maybe a sequel if possible in between, then it would have worked better. That was the problem.
Yeah, I kind of think Jessica's getting to a core point of the Marvel movie problem where XYZ amount of characters are just too goddamn powerful.
Yes.
And should not be challenged by the stuff that they are dealing with. Like Doctor Strange should not have gotten his shit pushed in by Thanos.
I don't really feel like he did though. I mean the group as a collective did, but I don't think Strange did. I didn't feel like that happened.
I still feel like my biggest problem with the Captain Marvel film is that they kept referring to her as she's all emotion. She's so like her emotion and is what makes her fail. And then I was like, what fucking emotion? Like she's emotional in certain scenes, but like she wasn't as emotional as they're all claiming. They're just basically, honestly, it was just kind of like, oh, you're not. It was code for you're just being a bitchy woman, which I was like, what the fuck movie is this? It's all about trying to be woman strong, which I agree with, but then it was like, oh, you're too emotional. It's like she's not though. She's actually most of the time well reserved and stoic.
Well, I think the whole
And
point of the movie was supposed to be that the people around her who were telling her that she was too emotional were kind of gaslighting her to a certain extent.
yeah, then you watch Jude Law give his performance. I'm like, that dude is all emotion. That dude needs to chill the fuck out. Like, go back to playing Dumbledore, you fucking British fuck.
Look, man, some people got to eat the scenery so that they don't have to tear it down at the end.
I mean, I think she was emotional, Rebecca, when she discovered her, like, what really happened to her. I think she had some emotion. But, like, I feel like they missed the mark on certain things. Like, I would have had her be, change her personality a little bit towards the end when she fully embraces her powers. And I felt like her flying for the first time was vastly underwhelmed because the whole point is that she's a pilot. She's always wanted to be a pilot. She's always wanted to fly. She's always wanted to be in the skies that's where she's at her most at peace. And then when she just starts, when she's like falling and then she like stops herself from falling and dying and then she flies, she was just kind of like, yeah, I could fly. It's like, no, you should be fucking ecstatic right now. But I still love Brie Larson. I think Brie Larson is a good choice. I just think the director and she didn't know really how they were going to play the role. I think I'm looking forward to a Captain Marvel 2. I think she'll actually be able to stretch and blossom more as a character.
I agree. I think it's going to work out well. We'll see. I'm curious what they're going to do with the next phase, Rico. And you and I have talked about this a little bit already, but with them saying flat out that Doctor Strange is going to be basically a horror film, and
have they changed their mind on that like 8 times now?
Not that I've heard.
No, it's been consistently a horror film.
Yeah.
As for Rebecca, Kristen Stewart, I more or less would agree. She's done a couple films where I'm like, okay, that's actually pretty good. Like there was one she did with Gandolfini called like We're the Rileys or Welcome to the Rileys or something like that. She was good in that. She was also really fucking good as Joan Jett in The Runaways.
Yes.
I didn't see that.
She looks and sounds just like young ass Joan Jett.
Mm-hmm.
But I also got to throw some shade back at Steph. You're saying that the worst fucking cast character is Ben Affleck as both Daredevil and Batman? No, that's what. How did you phrase that? Because it looked like you were like the worst whatever was Ben Affleck as Batman.
Mallet, Twilight's my favorite comedy ever. I love it. That's great, Mal. I agree. I've never seen them and I don't want to, but I can tell. Plus, with the game I know you and Mark play, that version of vampires, no. So
Steph reiterates. Go ahead, Todd.
I was going to say, about 5 years ago, I was out visiting family in Port Angeles, Washington, which is literally like an hour away from Forks. And we were going out to, there's hot springs out there. And on our way out there, we stopped at this little convenience store / gas station. And we went inside, and I went to grab myself a soda or whatever, and I saw a sticker in the window that says Bitten by Twilight. And I said, so what's with the sticker on the door that says Bitten by Twilight? What does that mean? It says, you mean to tell me you've never seen Twilight? I was like, do I look like a 12-year-old girl? No. I've never seen Twilight, and I never will. I'm not the demographic for that movie.
I saw Twilight. I saw at least the first 3.
You're also a 12-year-old girl, Rico. So I mean,
Yeah, but I look like him. So no. So Steph actually said that she didn't like the fact that, and I have to agree, actors going from one role to another or different universes.
I've said
So,
that.
We all have said that. I mean, as much as we think Ryan Reynolds is perfect as Deadpool, he still was in our mind Green Lantern.
I have a bigger problem when they put actors in the same universe in different roles than
Josh Brolin.
No, not just Josh Brolin, but yes, but I'm talking more so Chris Evans as Johnny Storm and Captain America. I had a huge fucking problem with that when they announced
universe.
It's different universe though.
It's not. They're both Marvel. They're not different universes. They're both
Fox.
What do you think Thanos and Cable is?
I didn't say you were wrong. I'm telling you that my biggest problem was the Chris Evans thing.
Universes in MCU and then Fox universe. That's what the separate.
But it's still Marvel. That was my biggest issue. I don't have as big of a problem when they go from Marvel to DC, but when they do Marvel to Marvel, fuck off.
Well, then everybody's played by fucking Chris Evans and Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah. What are you talking about?
Chris Evans has played so many comic book characters.
Who? Besides Cap and Johnny Storm?
He was in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Scott Pilgrim.
He wasn't Scott Pilgrim, unfortunately.
I was good in that.
He was in TMNT. So
he was good in it. I just don't like that movie.
Which TMNT was he in? I don't remember him being in any of them.
The animated one. The CGI animated one.
Who was
the one that's just called TMNT. He's Casey Jones, as far as I remember.
Was he? Oh.
Yeah. And Ryan Reynolds not only was obviously Deadpool in both Deadpool and X-Men Origins, but he was also in Green Lantern. He was also in R.I.P.D.
The fact that he was 2 different Deadpools is the thing that's the most confusing to me personally.
You could probably get away with saying, okay, he played Weapon 11 in X-Men Origins, and he played Deadpool in Deadpool.
Which is exactly what he actually even says because I was watching the behind the scenes stuff on Deadpool just recently, and he even said that. He's like, they didn't consider that, while it was Wade Wilson, they didn't consider it Deadpool.
They called him a Deadpool. Like, oh, we got all these powers, we're going to call it a Deadpool.
Right.
Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. He himself doesn't consider, I mean, yes, Mark, technically it probably was Deadpool, and I'm not arguing against what it logistically was actually called, but they didn't.
It was Wade. His name was Wade Wilson.
Right.
I mean, that we like.
But even he said in the thing that I was watching that he was a Wade Wilson. He wasn't the Wade Wilson. It just happened. I mean, like.
I sort of look at it from the reverse perspective of like recasting. I don't have a problem with people jumping back and forth like that as needed, just because motherfucker got to eat.
Right, but there are some times where it's like other motherfuckers have got to eat too, like people that don't have as much of a star power. Like before we got, I mean, not to bring up a sore subject, but Chadwick Boseman. I mean, we knew him from 42 and
they're a good movie. I can't think of what it's called. And James Brown.
James Brown.
Yeah.
He was being an actor, but he was like, I still need a fucking meaty role, and I need my franchise. So, I mean, if we were casting Black Panther, most of us would have been like, oh, Wesley Snipes.
Too old.
Or too old, but like, it would be the first thing we would more or less think of. We're not looking at the young generation as much as we should, because there are going to be some great.
I would have said Michael B. Jordan. I mean, I know they end up using him as Killmonger, but my first go-to would have been Michael B. Jordan as T'Challa before knowing that Chadwick was going to do it. But I'm saying,
I don't think he could have done it, honestly.
But by your logic, you couldn't use Michael B. Jordan because he was already Johnny Storm.
Well,
but nobody liked that fucking Fantastic Four movie. We could just pretend that one didn't happen.
Right. I actually said earlier I didn't mind it so much, but
dude, you have the worst opinions on movies. Holy shit!
I didn't say it was great. I said I didn't mind it so much.
He's like, The Princess Bride is a terrible movie. Excuse me while I go watch Fan Four Stick.
Yes.
Even going to like Kateri said, yeah, Wesley Snipes was Blade, but now Blade is going to be played by Mahershala Ali,
Right.
who was technically in the MCU by the first season or the first half of the first season of Luke Cage.
True.
So that's also double dipping. But we're like, that's pretty good casting. We're okay with it. We're all like, fuck, just pick a role and stick to it and be good and happy and take your paycheck. But yeah,
wasn't his character killed off in that show though?
I will.
Yeah.
Yes.
To go with Jessica,
So what
with
does it
Jessica said
matter?
for a second, I think Donald Glover is going to be an important character in the Spider-Man movies.
I agree. Yeah.
I think he's supposed to be the Prowler or something to that effect.
But I also did hear a rumor that he may have been coming. He was early rumored for Black Panther 2.
As who?
I still love his conversation.
No, Black Panther 2, just not as in Black Panther also.
Okay.
I still love his conversation about like people talking about him being Spider-Man on the internet.
Right.
You've seen Weirdo, I assume?
Miles Morales.
No. So he said, and I'm paraphrasing basically, but he said that like some people on Twitter started talking about it. They were like, we want Donald Glover to be Spider-Man. Let's get Donald Glover to do it. He's nerdy. And he was just like, all right, you know what? I'd love to be Spider-Man. Sure. Donald Glover for Spider-Man. So then you got two different groups of people on the internet. The first group of people were like, Donald Glover as Spider-Man. We're not going to watch a Spider-Man movie unless Donald Glover is Spider-Man. And then the second group of people was like, he's black. Kill him. It was that fast.
That's crazy. Yeah. Well, I mean, and to that same point, Mark, I would, and I think you agree with me. I would love to see a live action Miles Morales.
Yeah, but he's too old. Yeah. I would love to see him as like a character, but Miles is supposed to be like 15. Although you can't really do Miles right now because Peter's fucking 15.
No. I don't mean right now, but at some venture, I would like.
I absolutely would love to see a live action Miles, preferably with an adult
Isn't Miles Morales in like the Silk comics? Isn't he like a part, like a character within that universe as well?
I think so. I know he's got like 2 of his own comics at this point because he was the only character anybody liked from the Ultimate Universe.
I was going to say because Sony just announced that they're going to be doing a live action Silk series, so we might get a Miles Morales that's a live action.
I'm still astonished Silk is the thing, to be quite honest.
I would love to see an alternate history of Miles Morales training Spider-Man, training Peter Parker. Like have Don Glover as like an old adult Miles Morales who's already been a Spider-Man in his timeline, and then you get a young.
That would be.
That's
cool.
how you get both.
Although I'm being honest, if we're going to do anything as it relates to Don Glover being some type of Spider-Man character, I absolutely want him to be Spider-Punk.
There you go.
Who?
Spider-Punk. It's an alternate universe where Hobie Bryant, the Prowler, becomes Spider-Man because like Peter Parker died or some shit. And he's a punk rock musician.
Is he the Spider-Man with punk hairdo, the mohawk?
Yeah, and he's got the jean jacket and whatnot. Yeah,
he's rad as shit, and I love it.
Yeah.
All right.
To the wonderful ladies that are hanging out with us, I'm sorry for this on-screen sausage party. I just want to say that.
Yeah, well, I didn't put myself up. You're welcome.
Yeah, we'll call it Peter Parker.
Except you're welcome.
Karaoke was last night, Mark. Sorry.
Motherfucker, I do what I want.
I do what I want.
Mallet also posed a secondary question to me when we were having that discussion about favorite Avenger that I liked, and I took it a step further. She asked me what my favorite Avenger movie was, and when she asked it to me, I wasn't sure if she was referring to the entire MCU or just the 4 Avengers movies, so I posed it back as single, trilogy, or Avenger movie. And what I mean by this, for those paying attention, is Avenger movies are obviously
talking.
What?
I was paying attention until I stopped talking.
Okay. The favorite Avenger movie would be the 4 Avenger movies, obviously. favorite trilogy would be the 3 movies, or any character that got 3 movies. So Thor, Cap, and Iron Man, I think are the only ones currently with 3. And then solo movies would be like Doctor Strange, Black Panther. You could even say Ant-Man, even though there's Ant-Man and the Wasp, but like the ones that have these one-offs. And the ones that I picked for mine, my favorite solo movie, without question, is Doctor Strange. I've said that to Rico a bunch of times. I've said it on the show a bunch of times. My favorite trilogy, actually, surprisingly to me, as much as I love Iron Man, is the Captain America trilogy. And then my favorite Avengers movie is Infinity War. So those are my picks for that question. If, Rico, you want to tell us yours?
Well, I'm trying to think. My favorite, I mean, honestly, I have a big fondness for just the first Iron Man on a whole. I think the first Iron Man film
I agree.
Sets the tone. I think it's, as much as Captain America, the first Avenger, is fine. Obviously, the later sequels are better.
Well, and that's why I picked the Cap. For me, that's why I picked the Cap as a trilogy, because Civil War is so fucking good. You know what I mean?
I think I'm gonna pick Iron Man because when it came out, I was 17, and I remember seeing that, and then like it was a weird period because Iron Man and Incredible Hulk were both like in theaters, sort of around the same time, Like I did a double feature. I had like nothing to do for a whole day, and I went and saw Iron Man, and then I was like, "Oh shit! Incredible Hulk is starting in 20 minutes at this other theater half a block away. I'm gonna go see that." And I remember that being a day where I was just like, I feel good. Like this was sort of a blockbuster movie magic moment where I was like, I'm good, man. Like if they just made just these 2 fucking movies, and I don't have like a whole MCU because it wasn't even like promised.
Yeah,
it was just. Iron Man was just kind of like, this could be a one-off, but if we're lucky, we'll make some fucking interconnected movies. And I'm like, that's good, man. That was I still have a lot of likes and heart for The Incredible Hulk as a film. I really appreciate Edward Norton's perception.
You said Endgame's your favorite solo MCU. Endgame would technically qualify as your favorite Avenger movie. So what's your favorite solo movie? Just to keep the conversation in the chat going. So Rico, you're saying Iron Man's your favorite trilogy series?
Yeah, I mean, I could still defend Iron Man 3.
Oh, I can too.
Iron Man 2.
I like that movie. It's not as good as the first 2, but I like it. Yeah.
I would say it's better than the second one.
I disagree. I like the second one substantially better than the third one, but that's me. What's your favorite solo?
My favorite solo. I would actually have to go Spider-Man: Homecoming.
See, I don't know if that. Yeah, I guess so. I mean, no. I'm not arguing against it because of the collaboration with Sony. I tend to not think of that, but you're not wrong. You know, so.
I mean, Tony Stark's in it.
No,
so.
you're not wrong. I guess. You're not wrong.
If we were to exclude them, I would probably go.
I wouldn't exclude it personally, just because.
Oh, I'm not, Mark. I just don't tend to think of them, is what I was saying. You know.
That's fair, I suppose.
I mean, yeah, I would say Spider-Man: Homecoming because I loved everything in that film. I just felt like they needed to make Peter a little bit more intelligent.
You know what? Oh, yes, I agree with you there. I'll tell you right now. You want to talk about a hot take? I'll give you a real hot take right now. Michael Keaton as Vulture, infinitely better than as Michael Keaton, or his Bruce Wayne.
Batman?
Yeah, infinitely better.
Because he's playing a villain.
It doesn't matter about villain. It's still he just plays.
Yes, it does. Villains are automatically more interesting.
No.
He's also got like 20 more years of acting experience by that point.
Yeah, look, I love Luke Skywalker, but I would say Mark Hamill's the Joker is the better meteor role instead of Luke. Especially with what the fuck they did with the last couple movies.
No. You got mad on that one.
Jessica, who you telling to shut your mouth? Whose mouth?
I think me, because of what I said about Michael Keaton.
I'm just making sure. No,
this one, the vitriol's at me this time. We've lost. Like the people are still here, but no, they did. Yeah, we've lost. half this room. Okay, so Rico, what's your favorite Avenger movie?
Infinity War.
Okay, yeah, I agree.
Endgame, I think Endgame. I cried for a very different reason.
Sure.
But Infinity War was the equivalent to what the people in the 80s had with Empire Strikes Back. I did not have that. So I did not walk out of a movie being like, what the fucking fuck? So I think I would have to go Infinity War just for the sheer shock of being like, what if that's it? What if they just say "fuck you, fans"? They're just gonna fucking end it like that.
It could, that would have been pretty.
Hold on.
Now, what about you? You and I talked about it, but share with the rest of the audience here. Your three.
Share with the rest of the class.
Mm-hmm. Best move like solo is Black Panther.
Okay.
It's got the best acting in the entire MCU in my opinion, and the tightest story, and the camera works phenomenal. Best trilogy Captain America got hands down because of the three trilogies we have. Iron Man to do and Thor the Dark World suck. And best of Avengers movie and game because that was an experience in theaters. Like it was like a rock concert.
Yeah, that's true.
Almost.
That's true.
And because the guy was dating at the time laughed at me for crying it and Infinity War.
Well, fuck
He was a douche.
Yeah, he was a total douche. That guy sucks.
Yeah,
it's great because I'm the only one who knows who that is, but everybody agrees he's a piece of shit.
Fair enough. Mark?
You're not going to like my answers because I haven't seen half the movies.
I know.
Which I find, to be fair, a little surprising, Mark. I would have thought you would have.
I'm not much of a movie guy, honestly.
He's not.
Like, it's just in general, I'm not much. Like the last movie I saw in the theater, like I said, was Jurassic World. Before that, it was The Green Inferno. Before that, it was TMNT.
No.
Cats. I keep forgetting Cats because my brain doesn't want to remember the Cats.
You went to see Cats voluntarily?
Goddamn right I did.
Were you high?
I felt like I was having a stroke at the end, so maybe.
That's the best question anyone's ever asked on this show, Mallet. I swear.
No, I still like "Would you shit in a house elf's hands?" personally, but it's my question, so obviously. But yeah, I'm just not much of a movie person. I've always been
clearly if you're gonna fucking go see Cats.
No, I love bad movies, but good movies kind of iffy.
Well, then you should definitely watch a lot of the MCU. Then you could say, "Oh, this one's a fucking piece of shit."
Well, fucking CJ gave me his login for Disney Plus, and I still haven't logged in to watch Hamilton, let alone any of the MCU. The fucking face Mallet's making right now. Yes, Mallet, he gave me his login. I still haven't watched Hamilton. I keep meaning to do it. My Warframes aren't too built.
I haven't either. To be fair. But I also think it's absolutely funny that CJ has probably watched the MCU more than anybody else on the planet. Like, I'm like, what are you up to? Oh, I'm watching the Avengers again. Or he'll just be like, oh, yeah, so I was watching the Avengers again. I'm like, why? Just fucking watch a different movie for once.
This is all Avengers three times in theaters.
There was a guy
that's different.
I went to high school with, this guy John, who made me go with him to see episode 1 4 times.
There you go.
So it could always be worse. But yeah, so okay. Trilogy, I honestly can't answer that question because I have not seen all 3 of any of the trilogy films.
Fair enough.
In the MCU.
Okay.
Because I had no desire to watch Thor: The Dark World.
Neither did I.
if we're going by the films that I have seen out of the trilogies, I would go Thor.
Okay.
Because as much as I love Winter Soldier, Ragnarok is arguably the best movie in the fucking MCU outside of Black Panther, which I haven't seen and therefore can't comment on.
Okay.
Best single movie would probably either be Thor Ragnarok or
It doesn't
Winter
count.
Soldier.
It's part of a trilogy. You can't use Ragnarok.
It's true.
Then I have no fucking idea.
Spider-Man, you were about to
I
say
did not watch
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
That's fine.
I did not watch Spider-Man.
All right. And then you've only seen 2 of the Avengers movies, right?
Yes, which would be my pick would be Age of Ultron. I'm trying to think. I saw Doctor Strange and I thought it was fine, so I guess Doctor Strange.
I have a lot of love for Age of Ultron too. So
He's here, Kateri, because he's a good friend. Honestly, if that's who if you're asking why Mark is here, that's yeah.
Ultron was hard to come up with was hard to achieve because it was darker, and I think I think Joss Whedon was trying to go darker, but not so dark that it fucking ruins the movie for everybody. No matter what, we were going to compare it to the first Avengers. We're going to be unfair to it. I still.
Sorry.
No, go for it.
Ultron tried to start too many plot lines at once.
I can't disagree with that.
It's set up Black Panther by introducing Claw and Wakanda. It's set up Ragnarok with Thor's dream. We had the more Infinity Stones. So we're pushing towards Infinity War. We're trying to give all these characters screen time, which we didn't isn't as good in my opinion, and to tell a good standard alone story.
I will say though that now that Spader as the voice of Ultron,
you beat me because I was like, dude, I could listen to James Spader as Ultron specifically just for an extra couple hours. Like, I was really hoping that Thanos was going to do something where he brings back all the villains for that final fight in Endgame. So we got all the fucking heroes minus Black Widow, and then we have all the villains like, Red Skull and fucking Whiplash and blah 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 and Abomination, and then have Ultron just be like Tony, be like, oh fuck, didn't we beat you already? Like just something like into that, like, and Spader being like, now I'm free.
That first speech, and Rico, you and I have talked about this, so I'm not going to prolong it too bit. Like he was great through the whole film, but that first speech when he makes his
the worthy,
like.
Word.
That whole opening speech of his is crazy good.
You're all puppets with strings.
I did it just like to the like. Let me tell you about my evil plan blast.
Right. So.
I mean, I love Ultron in the sense that if you watch that movie and think that the villain Ultron is a teenager, it makes it so much more palatable because he's like, leave me alone. He's just impulsive and he's rejecting his father, Tony Stark, and he forgets things. He's learning. He does the whole thing like I was, it was Vision who said it. He's like, I was born yesterday, but you could still attribute that. He's like, he's only like a week old.
If that.
So he's very young.
Yeah.
No, Vision said that, but he's like,
know what I'm saying? Even Ultron's, by my count, maybe 4 days. Like, I don't think it's even a week.
So if you look at this as like he's accelerating his age. He would still sort of be like a teenager is how I'm looking at it.
All right. I have mixed feelings about Ultron. There's days that I love it, and there's days not so much. But it's not because of Spader. Like that I'm constant on. But the film as a whole, there's days I really enjoy it and days I'm not as much. Whereas like some of the other ones I can watch whenever. So
I mean, how fucking amazing was that part where they're all trying to lift Mjolnir?
oh yeah.
And then like you see Cap shift it slightly, and Thor's like,
What I like,
and then later Vision just grabs it.
Yeah, but what I really like about the Cap thing, Rico, and I think you and I talked about this too, is that when you get to Endgame finally, and Mark, spoiler, sorry, but when they get to Endgame and you see Cap actually wielding Mjolnir, and he's like, I knew it. You know what I mean? Like that's a throwback to Ultron. Most people don't, I think, put together. You know.
Well, it's
there's
like in the comics, Captain America has always been able to lift Mjolnir because he's pure of heart, and that's how it's supposed to be. So like that was like a big nerd moment where it was like, oh God, can he do it? And I think it was interesting that they actually went back and were like, no, Cap's so nice of a person, he actually didn't lift it because he knew Thor would be upset.
Yeah, which I kind of have to go.
Have they confirm that?
No, but it was. I think it's implied.
Well, I've heard to do theories. That's the first one, but the other theory I heard was that he actually wasn't worthy because Z was keep being the secret of Tony's parents.
Oh, that is a good point. That is a good point. But, you know, I have to look at both characters and I'm like, I find it kind of questionable that at times Thor is more worthy than Cap. Because Thor can still be kind of like a bit of a douche. But, you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like Thor is not above insulting people.
He's this
Whereas
spoiled
Cap
rich boy.
Yeah, but like even later, like in the first Avengers, it's like, your people are so tiny and petty. Like it's just like he's not worthy in the first Thor because that's the whole point is he's got to be worthy. But like,
wow,
how is he still what?
Jessica,
Captain America can blow me. He's the worst.
Jess, can you elaborate?
Please.
Well, just so you know, we got 13 minutes left.
Yeah,
Jess and I are about to have a fight.
I'll drop out. I want to.
It's your bloody show.
No one wants to hear me talk.
I'll drop.
Well, I don't want you to, but I have to hear Jess and Mark argue. Jess, jump in the spot. I gotta fucking hear this, but keep in mind you literally have about 7 minutes or so. That's your call, Todd. Your show.
Sorry, I'm writing for my own show. But yeah, Captain America's the worst. His ideals do not transcend in a post-globalized America. I'm sorry, they don't. And it's heavily represented in the Avengers franchise. If you look at it economic, sociologic, historical perspective, Captain America is a dead idea. And we all want to get behind that America that it still exists. But the reality is a Tony Stark America. I'm sorry. Captain America is the worst.
That is absolutely not a direction I would have thought about, but I mean, I can't really argue with that. Americana as a thing is absolutely dead. You are correct. So Tony Stark is more accurate insofar as that goes. But also, Captain America as a person is a million times better than Tony Stark because I feel like Captain America is actually closer to being a socialist than Tony Stark is. Whereas Tony Stark is basically like the embodiment of capitalism. And capitalism is the reason why the world sucks right now.
Let's set aside a capitalist and socialist, but we also have to look at like global economic trends of war. And Tony Stark is in fact correct when he sits down and states, what did I tell you? We need to literally build a ring of protection around the earth. He's thinking in terms of what's going to happen, what did happen. And if they'd have just initially done that, they'd have had early warning systems. It's not an idea of corporatocracy so much as it is, we can't apply ideas of socialism, capitalism. We're dealing with aliens from outer space that want to destroy the universe. We have to think bigger. We have to think globally. We have to think in relatable terms. I can't stand that stars and stripes stuff from Captain America.
I mean, again, I don't think like the Americana aspect of it is good, but I think Cap himself is very much a moral center, his weird Americana aside.
I can see that argument, and I'm not denying that. Like, people that say that, I completely agree. But I understand for story, we have to go with that. But the reality is, it would have been a different story. We maybe had a better story. We would have had a more, or a less forced, like, because Captain America said. We could have had a literal structure to his story if we'd have taken an overall like Tony Stark journey down that. I understand why we didn't. I understand it's not true to the comics if we do that, blah blah blah. But it always the idea of Captain America and we're free and special together, guys. Well, the reality is, when you look at something like that, you can't pull out that stars and like we said, the Americana is a problem, but you can't pull out that we're stronger together. Jesus Christ, like all the shit they went through could have been averted. I do agree with that. And that Captain America will always bother me. I think he's the most one-dimensional character because he doesn't have anything other than that post. You say he's more socialistic idea. I think he's more a product of the 50s and 60s Americana than he is a socialist idea. And I know that everybody wants to paint it that way, but I think it's wanting to paint it that way, so it shoves that Americana back in our faces. And that's me personally.
Yeah, I think the character's evolved quite a bit from that. Like, there's definitely periods where that was the case, but there's also definitely periods where, like, he's basically said, no, the American government sucks. I don't want anything to do with it. And has, like, given up the mantle of being Captain America, or at least being a part of the government. And like that's what ends up happening, at the end of
But yet when the world's in trouble, he sure as shit picks her back up again, doesn't he?
Well, yeah,
he
because
takes
he's a good
that
person.
shield right back from Tony Stark, and I think that's also that idea of corporatocracy giving us our stars and stripes back. I think it's less of a socialist view and more of a, I don't know, that just the idea of the character, all of it is really, really bugs me. And I know that people are like ripping my ass in comments.
No, they're not at all, actually. They're not at all, for real. There are people commenting, but there's no one really shredding you for it, Jess. I was actually laughing at Mallet's comment because she just reiterated how much why Hawkeye's better than everybody. That's really was her whole thing. So.
Oh my goodness. It's an interesting character to me, but it's also a character I despise because I think it's ultimately corporatocracy trying to shove the stars and stripes back in our face, and that he overcomes that, but he still picks up the shield again from the ultimate symbol of corporate America. So I think that's an interesting argument, Mark. Socialism versus capitalism. Now I'm going to watch all of it again, and I'm going to put it in that worldview, and I'll get back to you. It's going to be really interesting.
So, Jess, after you start the first movie and then you're ready to go on the next one, can you say, I could do this all day?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, Rico.
Right. That's an interesting fetish, Rico.
Fuck off.
All day.
I was quoting the movie, you fuck.
I know.
You know,
just so I know, before we get started, does anybody want to get off?
Hail Hydra.
Yeah, that's the one problem with the comic books is that eventually Captain America became Hydra.
Well, and they allude to it in Endgame. He doesn't actually full on convert, but they do allude to it.
He says it trying to blend in.
Yeah. He actually uses it. It's used as a deception tool. We'll put it that way.
And Sidwell looks at it with such shock. He's like, "Well, obviously he must be one of us because how could he ever know that?"
Right.
Blah blah blah
Right.
blah.
It was an interesting twist on that because I remember when Cap went Hydra in the books and everyone lost their shit.
They were like, "Oh, it's not brainwashing. He's gone Hydra," and then like 6 years later, no, it's brainwashing.
No, yeah.
LOL, we lied. Fuck you.
Well, that's comic books for you. You know that, but Rico, I that may be a good place to just pull the plug on this thing. We're a few minutes early, but I think it's still a good time. What do you think?
I don't really know what my last word would be.
And based on what you said tonight, maybe you kind of said it already.
All right.
So, Mark,
Hebrew?
I'm gonna ask you to
That's
jump
my
off
last
so we
word?
can just do our proper goodbyes and call it a night. But please, as I'm gonna say anyway. Oh, there we go. I want to first off, I want to thank everybody for coming out and hanging out with us as always. As Todd just said in the chat, Rico and I are going over to his show right now, so we're not going away. We're just going to go over and hang out on Todd's show, Todd the 206 Geek. So if you're not following him, go do that and join us over there. Join him and us, but more him. It's his show. But
show him some love.
Show him some love. Yeah, for real. I want to thank everybody that came out. Mallet, thank you for the question. Thank you for being a guest host for us tonight. I think you kicked ass. I think everybody kicked ass. Ariel for stirring the pot as you do so well, but we love you for it. That's why. To our new friends, Rebecca, thank you for coming out. Kateri, as always. Jolene, thank you for coming out as well. I'm trying to make Jess, as always. Hey, you've been one of the highlights of the last two episodes for real. We've been talking about that behind the scenes, so thank you for coming out, Mark, as well.
See what happens when you don't drink, Jess?
I didn't say it. That was Rico.
I said it.
But everybody, thank you, Jay, as always, for your support. Everybody, for Rico's got a pussy on him. But. Yeah, Jess, we were a little surprised, but in a good way. We love you for it. Thank you again, everybody. Please go check out the Todd 206 and hang out with us over there. He has a great show, so I think you guys will enjoy it. And until next time, this is PodAskew.
PodAskew.